I want to welcome in Pebbles Wireman. Pebbles is not new to Giant FM and WTCA. Yeah. We've had Pebbles on several times talking about several different things, but today she is talking about a brand new book that she wrote.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Oh,
Good
it's
morning.
fun to have you here today. So this is exciting. So Pebbles, give us first just a little bit of background about you or who you are.
I am a Plymouth High School graduate from 1992. I've lived in Plymouth all my life. I've actually listened to WTCA since I can remember. I remember as a child growing up and having my birthdays, calling in and having.
Yeah.
So over the years, in the summer before my senior year, I was in a major car accident that changed my life forever. With the car accident, I ended up with several injuries that really caused a traumatic brain injury, pseudotumor cerebri, which fluid builds up on my brain. I've also had several other orthopedic issues. And over time, it's just caused a lot of other health problems.
So I don't know if you don't even know the exact number. How many surgeries have you had?
I've had over 100 surgeries. I've stopped counting at 100. I've been blessed with a great surgical team. To begin with, locally, I had great doctors that really worked with, and then they got to a point that they sent me to Johns Hopkins for the brain. And now we are working with IU, so I go to IU for all my medical treatment, even my family doctors. So. Okay. It gets to be a little bit rough making the trips back and forth.
Yes, but that's better than going to Johns Hopkins because you would have to go out to the East Coast and spend a week or more.
And I still have to make the trip, just not as often. I still have to do it a couple of times a year.
Wow. So from that accident in high school, your life was totally changed.
Right.
What was the path in high school that you were headed in? Did you think, what was your career going to be?
What's really interesting, I think back to the Old West School.
Okay. Gosh, you're not that old.
The Old West School, and Miss Zespick and Mr. Scarberry.
Miss Zespick listens to the show. That's cool.
And Mr. Scarberry, and my teachers then, and I remember back then telling them that I wanted to be a writer. And
really?
I never thought it would happen, but it was a passion. Clear back then, I wrote poetry, and it was a passion. It was something that just, I could get lost. Anything that was on my heart, I would get lost in writing it. It was a place I could escape no matter what I was going through in life. My journal became my best friend.
So from the accident then, this was kind of like a relief situation that
after the accident, I really poured my heart into it. A lot of people after the accident, I was involved in everything in school. I was involved in choir. Mr. Piquel, loved him. Mr. Tyree was speech team, just a lot, very involved. And after the accident, even though, I was the same person, people still have a hard time adjusting because they don't know how to react to you. You've changed, but you're still the same person. And I've learned over the years that it's not because people want to treat you different. It's just they don't know how to treat you. And the biggest thing is a lot of times it's easier to give up. But I've learned over the years that you just keep on keeping the faith and battling through the storms. And it's not easy. And I'm not saying I never want to give up. I'm not saying that I never want to quit or I don't break down crying. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have those breakdowns. But in the end, then you got to find that place that's like, okay, although I've had that breakdown, I can get back up and have the faith to keep going again. And it doesn't matter what your faith is in. My faith is in my Heavenly Father, but we all have faith in different things. But the most important thing is to have faith in yourself. And
that's a big piece of it.
No matter what your faith is in,
yeah,
you lose that faith in yourself. And once you've lost that faith in yourself, then that's when you've lost it, because we're all worth something. I mean, no matter what you feel you've done wrong in life, what you feel you've gone through and you can't overcome, it doesn't matter, because that was yesterday. Today is today. It's a new beginning. You need to have faith that, oh, I can start today and move on, and it's a new day and I can do this.
All right. We have a phone call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I just want to say one thing. I'm on my way to prayer meeting, and this gal is going to be so inspirational. When you're feeling sorry for yourself, and then you hear something like this, God bless her.
Thank you. I hope you can come on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Okay, so Pebbles, you wrote it through school, and then this accident. So after you had the accident going into your senior year, how did that change? I mean, you had a brain injury from this accident? Was that the only injury that you had,
No.
or did you have lots of stuff?
I had lots of injuries. Okay. And the other thing is, after that accident, I went on to college at Indiana Wesleyan University. And
did you go right after school?
No, it was actually a couple years after. And while I was in my second year of college, I was in a second car accident where a teenager T-boned me.
Ooh.
And after that, that's when I sustained a lot of also physical. And I want to tell you, Rosie with physical therapy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know Rosie Harry. Yes.
She's in my book. She pushed me beyond. She really got me through the physical therapy, because when I would say I couldn't do it, she's like, one more, you can do one more, and she really helped me to overcome what I didn't think I could. And it wasn't just the physical, it was the mental. And I went through the physical therapy. I went through all the therapy. And although I went through different physical that has happened over the time, and I found out my dad had a connective tissue disorder and also a brain disorder dealing with narrowing of the arteries of the brain. So then when I was in the car accident, it ended up exacerbating those health conditions that made it worse. So although the car accidents made it worse, I already had health conditions that we were not aware of.
Ah, okay. I understand.
And did not find out about until after the accident. But due to my second car accident, I had to drop out of school.
Okay.
And I never thought that would be a possibility. And I was down at Johns Hopkins, and I had infusions that day, and they had given me 10 different meds back to back. And I'm just searching on my phone, inquiring. I saw Indiana Wesleyan had online courses, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. So I'm inquiring, checking it out. Well, I applied and didn't even realize I did it. And when I did, they called me when I got back to the hotel and said, oh, you're accepted. And I said, I'm accepted to what? And I went back to tell my doctor the next day, and she's like, you can never do that with your brain injury. Well, now I've graduated with honors with my bachelor's, went on with my master's degree with the seminary and graduated with honors. And although that's why I say others may tell you can't do something, you may not believe you can't, but the sky's the limit. You are only limited by what you allow yourself to do.
So to graduate and to be able to fulfill those requirements, does it take more for you than another student because of the brain injuries?
Yes. I did 90% of my homework in hospital bed.
Wow.
Lots of tears completing my homework. And in the midst of it, starting the seminary, I was told we had to start a ministry. And that's where the Mookie Project was birthed. I had been given a sock monkey at one of my hospital visits from Donna, who takes care of me, and I named it Mookie. I have no clue where the name came from, but I found out that Mookie means fun, adventurous. So it was a perfect name for Mookie. And one of the nurses added a Band-Aid on Mookie to represent the Band-Aid she put on me. Well, then it became a competition, and they kept on adding bandages to see who could do, one up the other nurse. And it not only was a battle with that, but built relationships between me and the nurses. So it made the hospital stays a little bit, less lonely. You built relationships. Plus Mookie was there with me at every hospital stay. So then the nurse like, this would be great for kids. So then when I was told that I need to build a ministry, I'm like, the Mookie Project. And I was in the hospital. It was in December, and Riley had asked me, could you get 300 Mookies for the children in the hospital? And it was like 3 weeks before they needed them. And I had just come out of surgery. And I contacted the ones. We had just started this. And I'll never forget Pam, who is on my team, thinking, what is she thinking? Is it the medication or what? And I'm like, okay, we can't do this, but God can. I mean, it only takes 300 people to say, yes, I'll give you $20.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem that hard, does it? 300 people to say, yes, I'll sponsor a child. Seems simple at the moment. And we did. We delivered 300 Mookies Christmas Eve. I had just got out of the hospital 2 days before.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was blessed to be able to actually hand deliver to a child that was in the hospital. And I've kept a relationship with this girl. And she's actually becoming a part associated with working with Mookie now. She's graduated from high school and doing well. And it's been amazing. So along this journey, my next book is actually going to be a book related to Mookie and one that we will be delivering with the Mookies.
Oh, great. Wow. So the book that you wrote that you are going to be launching next week
was not the book I wanted to write.
Was not anywhere where you thought you were initially going. How do you, I don't know. I mean, I write little short things every day, but I'm not a writer by any means. And yes, people will tell you that on Facebook too, that I'm not a writer. But
I wanted to write a children's book. It was fun, exciting, away from my doctoral work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited. And then the publisher said, but Pebbles, I want you to start with your memoir. And I'm like, Dad. And Deb Haggerty is my publisher from Elk Lake Publishing, a very kind person. But at the moment, I'm like, what is she thinking? Like, why would anyone want to read a story about me? But then when I was praying about it and asking God to guide me through this, he showed me it wasn't, the book's not about me. It's not at all about me. It's about what he's done through me and through my journey.
Mm-hmm.
So when you read this book, it's not about my journey. It's about faith, and God's got me through the journey. And anyone that's gone through, and it's not all about my medical journey. That's the other thing. A lot of people think it's all about my medical journey. There's journeys in here no one knows about my life that I've poured out that I never even knew would go into this book. And it's like, and I would get to those points and the editors would be like, expound more. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not ready to expound more on that, but they pushed me further. And actually I had the whole book written right before I lost my dad a year and a half ago. And I wrote something the day he passed away. And my publisher said, that's the ending of your book. And I said, but my book's done. She goes, no, that's the ending. So I had to go back and add a chapter. And then a year later, exactly a year from losing my dad, we're editing that chapter. And the editor's like, expound on this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I already poured my heart into it. I'm not ready, to expound. I was still healing from my dad. And I actually drove back to, the nursing home where I sat, watching them take my dad away and stuff, to be able to reconnect with that day to write that last chapter. And so there's different processes through this. And it's the hard times, but it's also the good times. It's the times when I was given Princess. Fufu Puppies donated a teacup poodle from Korea and flew her in to be my service dog.
Oh my goodness.
That story is in there. And it's from Korea to the United States. A puppy finds her way home. And so that story's in there. So it is a story about faith, but it's not all hard times. It's the happy times also. So
I think Pebbles because having over 100 surgeries, and a lot of times in the hospital, not even just with surgeries, but with treatments.
Right.
So a lot of your years have been set in the hospital scene versus even then in your own home recuperating. It's been in the hospital. So I think that's what a lot of people probably are expecting, is that it's going to be your medical journey through these trying times.
They're going to be surprised.
That's good. So how long did it take? When did you decide to start writing this book?
Well, I've had this story. I journal all the time. And one thing that I want to throw out there, when I had the accident, there was a lady. I was alongside the road, and I was 17 years old. And I don't remember any of this time, but there was a lady that found me, and she pulled over and she laid me in backseat of her car and prayed over me until the ambulance came. And all I'm going to say is you'll find out in the book if we ever reconnected, what happens on that journey. And if you come on Thursday night, you'll hear more about her. But she was my angel on assignment that night, and it just was a blessing. But there's been many angels along the path of my life. And from the time, I've journaled all along, and I've used bits and pieces of my journal. And
I was going to say that probably helps to write the story over the years.
But the actual writing and editing, it was 5 years.
That's a process.
A long time. But after you've done that first book, you don't get that long to write it.
I want you to move faster.
You get grace on the first one. The second one, it's a little faster.
So the second one you said you're working on is going to be about the Mookie Project, and it'll be something that children will get. So it'll talk more about having faith as a child, I would assume, like when you're in hospital. No?
We are doing something completely different with this one, and it's going to be a big surprise, but it's going to be a book that will actually bring comfort to the kids in the hospital, plus be help to the kids in the hospital. And it's going to have stories in it. It's also going to have things that will help them along their journey.
Wow. Very interesting. So you've lived in Plymouth your whole life.
Yes.
People know, what you have gone through, because you've been pretty public over the years about it, but this book is going to have lots of other things in it, not just Pebbles, who was in an accident and suffers with medical issues on a daily basis. I want folks to understand too that She's here today. She's got her hair done, the makeup's on, she looks great.
Big smile.
But every day is a challenge.
Yes. And I want people to know I'm by no means, yes, I have my faith. Yes, I believe in God and I pray daily and do everything. My life is no way perfect. I battle, I struggle. I've had the hard times. I've gone through the struggles. We all have those hard times in our life. We've all gone through the struggles. None of us are perfect. And I never want anyone to look at that in life. I want everyone to know, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've faced, you still can overcome no matter what you've gone through. Never look at yourself and think, I've gone through this. I've done this in my life. I'm not good enough to get there. You are. No matter what it is, that was yesterday, today's today. Mm-hmm. You can start fresh today. Today's a new beginning, and just have your faith in yourself. And no matter what other people look at you, it doesn't matter. In the end, it does not matter what someone else says about you or looks at you. All that matters is keep your faith, keep that smile no matter what. Let people see the love in your heart. Let them see your smile and let them know that, you are an overcomer.
I would say writing this book and going through the editing process probably really helped to build your faith back up. Some of the things you probably forgot about over the years, and you check out your journal and you start to write this and it kind of floods back in. And so it's probably part of a healing process too.
It's been a hard healing process from the time I was little. There were struggles that I went through as a child. There were hard times that I struggled with growing up. There were battles that I went through. I was not the perfect child. I overcame things. I grew through it. We all grow through things we learn growing up. But there were people that mentored me, were there for me, cared for me along the way. And I'm grateful for all of them. And the book shares so much that it's beyond what I even thought I would ever share. So although it's exciting releasing it, it's also like, wow, I've just poured my whole life out for the world to read. But the thing is, I think so often people want to share all the good things about their life and want them to see only the good. I don't want it just to be about the good. I want people to see, we are all human. We're all have gone through hard times. We've all done struggles. We've all had battles. We've all even done things we don't think are the greatest. But you know what? We all, can overcome. We all, learn from them. And the important thing is that we learn from them and do something good with what we've, gone through. No matter what it is you've done or gone through, you can turn it around and use it for good.
Well, we're talking with Pebbles Wireman. We're going to take a break here, grab the news at the top of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about her book launch and book signing coming up next week. So stick around.
Continuing a Marshall County tradition, Giant FM, WTCA Plymouth, W291BQ Plymouth, Giant FM, WTCA, a Three Towers Broadcasting Company station.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Hiring slowdown in the month of October. U.S. employers added just 12,000 jobs last month, a month after adding more than 220,000. The Labor Department says thousands of workers lost their jobs in the hurricanes, and the Boeing strike affecting 33,000 machinists is also having an impact on those numbers. Days before the election, the Department of Homeland Security says Russia, China, and Iran are spreading misinformation on the safety of voting.
They want to sow and stoke partisan discord. They want to pit Americans against each other. They are looking for any opportunities to create rage.
Jen Easterly, Director of Cybersecurity and Infrastructure at DHS. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will host dueling rallies within 7 miles of one another this evening. Both those rallies in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, The state won in 2016 but lost in 2020 by Donald Trump. Death toll from extreme flooding in Spain up to 205. This is
Giant McCree, Giant FM News. Early voting for the general election Tuesday continues at the Marshall County Courthouse again today, available from 8 until 4, and on Monday from 8 until noon. Walk-in early voting will also be available on Saturday at the Pines in Bremen, running from 8 until 3. Absentee voting by the Travel Board available by request until November 4th. For those who are unable to get out of their homes to vote, you should contact the Marshall County Election Administrator, 574-935-8713. The Plymouth High School Theater Department presenting Beauty and the Beast for their annual children's show beginning today. The play by Vera Morris and presented by arrangement with Pioneer Drama Service. There will be 4 public performances at 6:30 this evening, at 2 o'clock on Saturday, 6:30 Saturday, and another matinee Sunday at 2 p.m. Performances are in the PHS auditorium. Guests are asked to use door number 5. Main doors in the large parking lot at the north end of Plymouth High School. They will open 30 minutes before each show. Tickets sold at the door. All tickets are $5. This is a cash-only sale. Giant McCurry, Giant FM News, WTCA.
I'm Lori Parrish, the Director of Sales at Collins & Company Realtors in Plymouth. Our team is led by Chris Collins, who brings nearly 50 years of experience with a dedicated team of 26 professional agents, along with offices in Plymouth, Bremen, Culver, Coons Lake, and Lakeville. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, a commercial property, or a lakeside retreat, our experienced agents are here to offer you a personalized service every step of the way. Visit our website at collinshomes.com and meet your hometown real estate expert.
Pamper yourself at Essence Spa and Salon in November as we celebrate our 5th year anniversary all month. Receive unlimited tanning for just $50 or schedule a seasonal body scrub for only $65. Each Saturday, a name will be drawn for a $500 basket, which includes a $293 spa day package. Earn an entry for every scheduled service during each week throughout November. Check for updates daily at Essence Spa and Salon. Call us for an appointment today at 574-540-2652. Pamper yourself today.
Partly cloudy skies today. We'll see a nice mix of those sun and the cloud conditions through the day, but temperatures are going to be much cooler. Afternoon highs only around 53, and it will still be a little bit breezy for the morning hours. Tonight, all the way down to 35 with areas of frost, and tomorrow, partly sunny with high temperatures back up right around 60 degrees. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Now, more of What's Your Opinion on Giant FM WTCA.
We're back. We're talking with Pebbles Wireman. She is an author. So this is your first book.
Yes.
So she's a brand new author, lives here in Plymouth. And Pebbles, you are actually going to, the book is in your possession.
Yes, it is.
It's not out publicly yet.
No, it's the official release is November 7th.
Okay.
I will have books at the book release. Available for purchase and autograph. The event is at the Reese Theater, which I'm honored to be able to do the book release at the Reese because Mr. Piquel was a big part of my life, supported me, was my choir director for 6 years, and the stage was dedicated to him. So to be able to have my book launched there means everything to me. And so we will be I will be doing a book reading. We have a special guest speaker coming from Indiana Wesleyan. He was previous president of Indiana Wesleyan, and he also was one of the founders of the Wesley Seminary, Henry Smith. And he will be speaking in regards to, he endorsed my book. He was also one of my instructors at the college. And we will also, one of my editors will be there from Colorado. She's flying in. So Jeannie Leach, I'm really excited to have her here. And we will be having some other specials. Musette we're going to have a special dance. that will tell the story. And we will have some refreshments from Stephanie at Le Dessert.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes. And it will be a night of inspiration, and it will be a night to celebrate with me. And everyone's invited. It's open to the community. The community has stood behind me from everything since my accident. And I want this to be a night that the community comes together and celebrates with me.
So where the book will be available that night.
Yes.
Then where will people be able to find it? I mean, gosh, when you think about it, we really don't have a bookstore
Not like the book like we used to. Yeah.
Yes.
The book is going to be available on Amazon,
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, Books A Million,
Okay.
and several other bookstores. Also, you can go on my website, pebbleswireman.com, and I have links to be able to purchase the book there. And follow my Facebook page. It's author Pebbles Wireman, and you will stay updated on where I'll be. I will also be on the 22nd, 23rd at Southgate for their holiday.
Oh,
Sure. Yes.
The Big Red Barn.
Yes,
Okay.
for their holiday extravaganza. And I will be selling books and autographing books at that event also.
wonderful. So, how does this book then also kind of relate to the medical side of things? I mean, are you hoping that this will help raise funds? I don't think people understand the costs involved, of having to go to Johns Hopkins, or even think about it, just driving down to IU. How often do you go to IU right now? Because
Well-
you're going through a problem right now.
Yes, I'll share a little bit. You're aware of it. Right now, we recently they had to remove 90% of my stomach. It was dead. It had lodged up into my esophagus. So at this point, I'm on TPN feedings, which is feedings through a PICC line. Therefore, I am making additional trips to IU. And the trips have been 2 to 3 times a month recently. I've spent lots of time in the hospital there. And the trips get to be overwhelming. The gas and sometimes hotels and just the extra expense does add up. The books that are purchased the night of the event, all the money from that event will go towards the medical trips for all my treatments.
Yes.
My medical is paid for. The insurance does cover it. It's just the medical trips.
It's the
The
other
expenses.
parts.
The
Yes.
expenses.
Right. People don't think about, I've got a doctor's appointment at 1:00 in Indianapolis.
Yes.
I've got to leave here by 10:30. I've got to have gas. I have to eat something. I don't know. Well, right now you can't eat it. Can you eat anything?
Actually, I do a lot of that's another expense. I do a lot of the vitamin water and protein waters, which are an extra expense because they cost a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm drinking stuff, we need to get the vitamins and protein in. So to drink just regular water is a waste.
Right.
So I'm only able to get 2 to 3 ounces at a time. So I'm constantly doing vitamin, protein, water. And I'm not able to do like shakes because my stomach won't handle it.
Oh,
I am able to do some we've found some like more liquidy food that I can handle, but it's limited and I only can do like 2 ounces at a time. So I'm not able to get enough to sustain me.
Mm-hmm.
So
The nutrients that everybody else gets out of their food when it goes through your system, because this is what's happened to me. Now I've got a full stomach, but the stuff goes through me so fast that it doesn't get those nutrients out. So I'm always nutrient deficient on so many things. And so you being able to take in 2 ounces, I mean, you've had what everybody, they want to lose weight, so they go and have that band put on to shrink their stomach. You did the permanent situation now, and not at your choice. So it's going to be, you have to eat through a tube in your arm, basically.
It's, I cannot have the actual feeding tubes, because my body rejects it. So that's why they tried the NG tube through my nose. I was in the hospital for 4 weeks and my body rejected it. So they have to feed me through my veins. So that's why it's a TPN. My brother jokes and says TPN stands for Total Pebbles Nutrition.
Yeah.
But it goes through my actual veins to feed me, and I hook myself up at night for 10 hours, and it feeds while I sleep.
Wow.
And it makes me nauseous and sick, and I still like trying to eat different things stuff. I still go through the really nauseous and sick periods of times, and it's a battle, but I know it's better than what it could be. So I just try to make the best of it.
You
And
look at the bright side always instead of, I can't eat. Other people would be devastated. So
there's people out there, and the one thing that gets me through everything is when I'm in the hospital, even I walk the halls in the middle of the night. The middle of the night is the time that the people in the hospital are actually more awake than during the day. And you walk the halls and you'll hear the moans and the crying of the patients. And I stop outside each room and I pray over the people in those rooms because I have faith, and I sit there and I think about the patients who have no faith, and sitting there all alone. And I couldn't imagine it. But so when I'm going through it, I think about how much worse it could be because I know where my life is, and I know, when my time's done, I know where I'm going. I'm good. Everything's great,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. So it's everyone else, but so it's hard. But the hardest struggle is the times that, when I feel sick and I'm battling that, there are days that's like, okay, I'm struggling. This is hard. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. And I try to focus on different ones that, like Johnny Erickson taught us. She's one paraplegic. And different ones like that who have it worse, who don't have hands, who don't have feet. I have those. There are always people out there that have it worse off than we do.
Exactly. You're quite the woman, let me tell you. An inspiration for a lot of people. So you graduated from Indiana Wesleyan. You went to seminary and graduated from seminary. Do you do anything with that at this point? Are you speaking at churches or?
I am starting that. I've been asked to speak at a couple different churches, and I'm launching that the first year to start speaking at women's conventions. Actually, anyone that would like to invite me to come speak at a church or any event, I would love to, and share my story, share my book. That's part of my goal is really to be an inspirational speaker along with sharing my book with others. My goal really is to help others to be able to see that no matter what they're going through, they can overcome it. And that's what I want to get through my book. It's not about me. It's not about the book. It's about helping others to overcome what they're going through.
Well, it sounds wonderful, really exciting. So before we let you out of here, again, tell folks where they can actually come and see you in person and buy your book.
It's at the Reese Theater, which I want to thank the Reese for hosting me. They have been amazing at making this a wonderful night. And I want to thank everyone at the Reese for making this possible. But it will be Thursday night, November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. And if you're not familiar with where that is, it's right downtown Plymouth. And come there. You can get tickets on the Reese's website. Tickets are encouraged, but they're not required. And just come and be a part of the celebration. And you will have a chance to be one of the first to buy my book. And
have it
also
autographed by the author?
Yes, have it autographed and take a picture and get a hug.
Okay.
That's so wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Well, we really want to thank you for taking the time to come in, and we will be reminding our listeners over the next few days now that the event is coming up. So everybody's welcome. If this is, and if you have a Tri Kappa, Delta Theta Tau, Rotary Club, your church's women's group, if you're looking for a guest speaker, here we have a local author who would be more than willing to come and be a very inspirational speaker for folks.
Yes, and I say hi to all my Tri Kappa sisters.
There you go. Well, Pebbles Wireman, we want to thank you so much for coming and spending time with us this morning and wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for always supporting me along the journey. And I'm grateful to be a part of this community.
Well, this community should be grateful to have you too, a real inspiration to folks.
Yes.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Okay, Miss Teresa, we have to wrap. Well, we've got a few minutes left.